In this video, we're going to be outlining the single best budget deck that you can use for the upcoming monster type festival, where you can only use fiends and fairies. Before we get started though, I just want to say you can check the links in the description for other deck lists that I've created around this event for additional options that you could use. But let's go ahead and take a look at what the best budget option is going to be. If you're like me, you're likely a free-to-play player on Master Duel and you're not looking to put together a deck that will break the bank for a festival that has a limited duration, right? Keep in mind that with the monster type festival, as with every other festival, you will be able to earn a total of 3,100 gems by progressing through the medal ranks here and earning the gems that way, as well as legacy packs and a title at the end if you make it all the way, and from the challenges that will come from the mission specific related to this event. Regardless, the deck that I think will be the best budget friendly deck is going to be the Unchained deck. So if we take a look at what the core engine is, I have two tech options in here and I'll explain it in a bit, but 27 cards in the main deck, 8 cards in the extra deck. So for the actual core engine, you have your 3 level 3 Unchained monsters, that is the Arua, the Rakea, and the Sarama. I don't know if I'm pronouncing those correctly, but let's assume I am. And these are all just normal, right? That's 9 out of the 40 cards that you're going to need for the deck. And you're going to get these if you just, let's say, even if you want to craft them or just open up a couple of these packs, you'll likely get all of those normals, no problem. The tech option number 1 that I'm using is Raiden, the multi-dimensional kaiju. This card can help break boards, tribute over, let's say, the first Dark Lord or a Silver Castle, things that are untargetable, indestructible, whatever. You can easily out them, as well as another tech option that this can be combined with, which I'll go over in a second. But 3 of these to help facilitate board breaks is also very good, and it's just a rare. So again, you can craft them. They take no resources whatsoever. As far as the actual super rare or ultra rare investment, in the main deck at least, you probably want to play 1 or 2 Unchained Soul of Disaster and 1 Abominable Unchained Soul. Oh, sorry, 2 of these actually. I think 2 is probably the right ratio here. So a total of 90 super rare points in the main deck, and that's about it. The rest of it, 3 Abominations Prison, 1 Wailing of the Unchained Souls, and then 3 of the again, just more commons or normals, Escape of the Unchained and Indomitable Chamber of the Unchained. So altogether, the core engine is relatively cheap, normals, rares, and then just a couple of super rares for the main deck. The tech option number 2 that I'm opting to play here, which is another, I guess, 660 super rare investment, and 2 Dark Spirit of Banishment. This card synergizes well because it can kind of cycle between bringing back the level 8s from the graveyard. If we read this card here, if your opponent's monster if your opponent monster attacks at the start of the damage step, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. So this card in effect acts as a very unique hand trap for this deck, for Fiend decks especially. Target 1 level 8 Fiend monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated, and if you do, change that attack that the opponent declared to that monster that you special summoned and perform damage calculation. And then, so obviously, the goal is that you bring back this card here. Let's say Silver Castle attacks, it has 3,000 attack, you bring this back. Silver Castle has to crash into this, getting it off the field. Playing around the effect of it being indestructible by card effects and untargetable, you just out it by forcing them to attack into this, and because this is a hand trap, your opponent's not going to really be expecting it. Or you can go for the defensive option in the Unchained Soul of Disaster, bringing it out in defense and just having a big wall on field with 3,000 defense. Both of these are level 8 fiends, so they do work with the Dark Spirit of Banishment. And then it has a second effect is, if this card is in your graveyard, basically, if a level 8 fiend monster is sent to the graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, you can just add this card back to your hand, so then you have kind of a recurable, recyclable engine as long as these cards don't get banished, because with the Unchained deck, if you don't know, you destroy your own cards, so you'll be popping these cards on field in order to trigger your Unchained monster effects, and then that should trigger this card to come back to your hand because it'll be sent to the graveyard, triggering this card back to your hand. So, a pretty decent small engine in this deck. Again, just 2 super rare investment, not too bad. If we look at the extra deck here, Unchained Soul of Rage, Unchained Soul of Anguish, both at 3, that's another 90, 90, 180, and then you combine these 3, that's 270 super rare investments if you choose not to open the pack, because I would probably say you spend, let's say, 2,000, 3,000 gems, open up 20 to 30 of these packs, and again, you're going to get some resources that you can deconstruct for more crafting points, but you'll likely pull, I would say, 70% of the super rares that you need out of there, and hopefully the goal is that you pull the ultra rares, right? And then this is the boss monster, Unchained Abomination, of course. I would say you want at least 2, and this card again in the same pack, so just by opening like 20-30 of these packs, you can probably get the whole engine. ready to go, and you have a very viable and competitive deck that can really lock down and control the meta in this event. I think it won't be super top tier, but again, depending on what your hand is and depending on what your opponent is playing, it can definitely dominate a lot of decks. Once you get this engine rolling, you're destroying cards on the field very, very quickly, and that means you're out resourcing your opponent, which is very easy to manage and control the game from there, right? If we take a look at what a finished deck list might look like, I'm going to pull up the version that I created in the deck screen here, and we'll go over some of the additional options that you can fill out the deck with. So if we take a look here, you know, all this stuff is still the same, and then we get over to the tech cards. So because Labyrinth is a loner deck and it's, you know, a new deck and people want to be trying it, if you have a Feather Duster, which is again a staple card, you should probably throw it in this deck. It also helps facilitate for the destruction effects, so it's very good for that. Same with Lightning Storm. Again, you get this in the bundle deal, so you should probably at least have one. Again, this card can help you going second, wiping out monsters and or back row. Very, very effective. 2 Pot of Extravagance. Because you play so many copies of your Unchained cards, you probably will not banish all of them, but it is a risk. So this card just obviously helps you increase consistency, increase card advantage. So again, just a super rare. If you have them around or just want to craft them, they are good in a few decks, so it's not like you're just crafting it for this deck specifically. Pot of Prosperity, I shouldn't have to explain this. This card is broken. Everybody should be playing this, not just in this event, but in other decks as well. So you should have one. And just if you do have it, or if you don't have it, craft it, put it in the deck, right? It's just increasing your consistency, and consistency is what wins you games. Speaking of which, tech option number 3, which goes with the Kaijus here. I believe this works, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if you've made it this far in the video, but Small World can bridge any of the Unchained level 3 monsters, or even I think the level 8 monsters, into the Kaiju, back into another monster. So say if you want to open the Arua and you start with the Samara, you can use Small World, banish this, banish Kaiju, grab Arua, right? Or vice versa. You can do anything, any of these level 3 with a Small World bridges into another level 3, right? So you can kind of get the one you need. I believe it will work because these cards, the only thing that it shares with the Kaiju is that it's Fiend, and then the Kaiju, the only thing that it shares with any of the other ones is that it's also a Fiend. So it should work. And then I believe it's the same for the level 8s, because again, the levels are different, the attack and the defenses are different, and the only thing that they have in common is the Fiend typing. So I believe that's how it works, but again, correct me if I'm wrong. Small World's a pretty complicated card, and obviously I don't have this deck yet. I will be building it though for this account because I only have like 4,000 gems and a few crafting points, but I will be investing in this deck for the event. Something unique and nice to play, let's say. And then aside from that, moving on, we have 3 evenly matched. I've talked about this in the other decks that I've created as well. At least right now, I think that going second, this is probably the best card that you can play in the event, because again, you don't have hand traps to slow down your opponent. You don't have your Ashes, your Maxis, Ghost Ogres, whatever else you might want to use, Effect Veilers, etc. So, you know, Imperms is the only hand trap you have. So your opponents are going to be able to set up boards, right? And evenly matched is pretty much the best way to break those boards at this point. So I'm opting for 3 of these. This card can definitely be a blowout and win you matches single-handedly. So there's no reason not to play it in my opinion, but who knows? We'll see how the meta shapes up. But right now it's looking like a good option in theory. And then of course, the ultimate hand trap, Infinite Impermanence, ultra rares, but yes, you should have 3 because they're literally used in every single deck in the game, more or less. And if you don't have these yet, I mean, just craft them. Use your ultra rare points, you won't regret it, because as long as you play this game, Infinite Impermanence will be relevant. Moving on to the extra deck, we're opting to throw in the generic Nightmare monsters. Again, you can opt not to put in Unicorn because it's an ultra rare, but these guys take nothing to craft, and they do have general utility in other decks as well, just because of their generic nature to summon and clear out special summon monsters and back row, so they are good for that. Muckcracker is a new card that just came out in the Dreaded Conspiracy pack, so you can opt to play 2 of these just because it helps recur your Fiends, but not necessary, I don't think. And if you don't play the Extravagance, you can definitely just function with 1, I would say. But just because if you do play the Extravagance, you probably want to play 2 just in case you banish 1, and it could come up to bring this in and recur one of your Fiends. Moving on, like I already explained, the boss monster is kind of your main ultra rare that you want, but you can also offer something like Underworld Goddess. Again, another ultra rare, but probably not needed, just because you do need 4+ monsters. However, you can use one of your opponent's monsters, and this helps out towers. So you have Kaijus to out things, you have Underworld Goddess potentially to out things. This can be very beneficial. So say for example, untargetable Lady Labyrinth, or untargetable the first Dark Lord. Underworld Goddess also helps deal with those. So Overall, you know, this will be a decent deck like I mentioned. Let me know what you're playing in the comment section below if you've made it this far in the video. A like would be appreciated if this video helped you. Okay, so I am going to attempt to build this deck, put my money where my mouth is, and we're going to start off by going to the card that we want, how to obtain. Okay, this pack is currently locked, so we're going to have to unlock it, and we want to unlock it by grabbing a super rare. And so what you want to do in this case is look at one of the super rares you need 3 of, just craft 1, and you will likely get the other ones from the pack. So there we go, Unchained Soul of Rage pack is now unlocked. Let's go ahead and open up our free pack, see what we get. Okay, no glow, which means it's just going to be rares. Yep, as expected. And now we take a look here, featured cards. This is what we want. Okay, we want these as well, the super rares, and the super rares for the main deck. Okay, so pretty straightforward, you know, 1 in 4 chance of getting these ultra rares. However, you know, with secret packs, you do get, you know, all the other stuff potentially in the game. So that's not great, but let's see what we get. So we've got 4,600 gems. So again, I am basically just purely free to play. Let's see what we can get with the first 1,000 gems spent. Okay, not looking too promising. We get no ultra rares. We do get the super rares, but not the super rares that we want. So this is all dust. So not looking too good here. Got a guaranteed ultra rare now in this one. Oh, there's our 1 rainbow pack. Okay, 2 ultra rares. We do get 2 more of this. It looks like I will be spending 3,000 gems. Regardless of what I get here, this is going to be it. Unless, of course, I get no ultra rares, then it's going to force me to spend my last 1,000. Wow, so not a great pack opening whatsoever. We do get an IP Masquerena, but we already have one, unfortunately. So that's not great. It looks like I will need to be crafting these cards. I didn't even get the normals. Wow, come on, Konami. That's a little sus. I'm not gonna lie. But let's go ahead and finish off crafting what we need. So again, super rare stuff is usually not too bad to craft here. I can't believe I didn't get the normals out of 3,000 gems. That's kind of nuts, but hey, it's just normal, so who really cares, right? So this is pretty much the deck. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and craft these as well. And then 1 of the super rares that we didn't get. Kind of crazy that we did not get any of the Soul of Anguish. Okay, so what you're going to see me do here is I'm on the main deck screen from the Decklist menu, and I'm going to switch this to standard. And then I'm going to go to dismantle select cards, change the filter to the super and ultra rares. In my free labyrinth pack that I opened off of the recording, I caught a lovely labyrinth, so interesting. But yeah, we're not going to play this. We just crafted these. Kind of sucks that I have to dismantle one of these ultra rares now, but it is what it is. We're not going to play Fire King, so let's dismantle that. No Nephestus, let's dismantle that. Beast King, okay. Fire Avatars, more super rare. So we're basically going to get back all of our super rare investment here. Yeah, we are just going to lose out on some ultra rare, so we're going to be able to get back. This is basically 1 Unchained Abomination here. It feels bad though that we have to waste our crafting points for it, but it is what it is. I probably will not play these now just because I didn't end up pulling the card that I needed. But I'm just going to craft 1 for now. There you go. And we're going to have to craft 3 of these. Nope. Yeah, might as well just craft these as well. I mean, I guess it is worth opening this to see if we... Hey, we could get a unicorn from this, right? Probably not, since I just got an ultra rare from the labyrinth pack. It's probably just going to be rares. Yeah. But it's worth opening because we might have got a phoenix or a unicorn. All right, and then the muckrackers here. Yeah, these cards are useful in multiple decks, so I don't mind crafting 2 of them here. So again, with this setup, I'll probably need to craft the second Unchained Abomination. But yeah, you can see here that I've completed the deck more or less. I will fill out the last 3 extra deck slots with just like some other random stuff. Again, you can just switch it back to the event and filter like link monsters. and see what options you have to play to fill it out with. It would have been nice to like do more of the generic link monsters, but it is what it is. That's how it goes sometimes. But again, this is why you build the deck budget-wise, so that you're not investing a ton of points. We started with 590 ultra rares, we ended with 590 ultra rares. We spent 3,000 gems. We're gonna get that all back plus more when we go through the event, as well as legacy pack tickets and all that other stuff. Plus, again, the point of this is that you're having a new and unique fun deck to play that's also kind of competitive, right, without breaking the bank. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. Again, thank you if you've made it this far. I like to do these kind of pack openings with you guys as well. Let me know if you enjoy this part of the video though in the comments below. But yeah, that's going to be it. So Quantum is out, and I'll see you in the event probably.